Princess Leonor of Spain, the young royal who waits with grace, unstoppable queen in waiting. They expect a princess to smile. They expect her to wait quietly. But they do not expect her to rise stronger with every silence. And they never imagined that waiting could be the most powerful act of all. Born on October 31, 2005, in Madrid, Leonor de Borbón y Ortiz entered the world already carrying history on her shoulders. From the very beginning, her life was not just her own. She was the heir to a crown centuries old, a kingdom with a proud but complicated past, and a future written in both duty and uncertainty. Spain had not seen a female monarch in centuries. In fact, to many, the crown had always been a man's inheritance. Yet with Leonor, that story quietly shifted. The law of succession still favored male heirs, but there was no son. She would be the heir. At once, the eyes of tradition and modernity fixed upon her. As a child, Leonor appeared shy, almost fragile. Soft golden hair, bright eyes, a delicate smile. Spain saw a little girl, but behind palace walls, something else was forming. Discipline, patience, an understanding that every step, every gesture, every silence mattered. She could not afford mistakes. And yet, she was still a child. At school, she studied like every other student. Math, history, literature. But her lessons were not confined to books. She was taught diplomacy, resilience, composure. Each day she learned how to carry the weight of expectation with grace. How does a teenager balance algebra with the knowledge that one day, she will command a kingdom? The answer lies in how she waits. Waiting not in weakness, but in power. For Leonor, waiting is preparation. The first time she spoke publicly, the world leaned in. A small voice, steady but tender, declaring loyalty to Spain's constitution. She was only 13, yet already she embodied something rare, an ability to command attention without force. Her words were few, but her presence was undeniable. Still, questions swirled around her. Could she lead in a world that often doubts young women? Could she bear the heavy scrutiny of a divided Spain? Could she survive the pressure of a monarchy fighting for relevance in modern times? To answer those questions, one must see her journey closely. Her father, King Felipe VI, raised her not only as his daughter but as his successor. Every lesson he learned in diplomacy, every scar from political battles, he passed on. Her mother, Queen Letizia, once a journalist, shaped her into a woman who understands people, media, and the fine art of speaking with purpose. From both parents, Leonor inherited something priceless, the knowledge that leadership is not about power, but about service. At the age of 16, she left home for UWC Atlantic College in Wales. A boarding school not of privilege alone, but of challenge. There, surrounded by students from all corners of the world, she was not Princess Leonor. She was simply Leonor, a teenager learning independence. Washing her clothes, eating in a communal dining hall, facing the normal struggles of student life. Yet beneath the normalcy, her training deepened. She was learning not only about academics, but about empathy, resilience, and responsibility. Imagine her in a classroom, discussing world conflicts, sitting next to peers from war-torn nations, listening, absorbing. For once, she was not the center. And in those moments, the future queen learned the art of humility. But Leonor's story is not just about quiet waiting. It is also about moments of fire. When she stood to deliver speeches, her voice no longer trembled. When she walked into military academies, dressed in uniform, sword at her side, Spain witnessed transformation. The shy child became a young woman forged in discipline. Her posture upright, her gaze firm, her silence commanding. The symbolism was powerful. A princess who was not merely decorative, but prepared to lead, to serve, and if necessary, to defend. Still, curiosity loops remain. What happens to a young woman whose life is already scripted? What does she dream of in the quiet of her room? Is there space for love, for freedom, for rebellion? The answer is whispered in the choices she makes, small and subtle. Leonor is rarely seen on social media. She guards her privacy fiercely. In a generation obsessed with exposure, she practices restraint. This is not an accident. It is strategy. She knows every image, every word, will be magnified, dissected, spun into narratives she cannot control. And so, she waits. Waiting does not mean absence. It means preparation. She has begun her military training, walking the path her father once took. A future commander-in-chief must know discipline, not just in name, but in sweat, exhaustion, and endurance. And Leonor embraces it. Her boots in the mud, her hair tied back, her uniform stained with effort. She is not playing soldier, she is becoming one. Every appearance she makes now is calculated. At ceremonies, she is calm, poised, often silent, yet her silence speaks volumes. Her presence alongside her parents is no longer that of a child, but of an equal in the making. Spain watches, the world watches, and a question grows louder. When the time comes, will she not only wear the crown, but truly lead with it? History offers echoes. Elizabeth I of England. Victoria. Queens who redefined eras. Spain has not had such a moment in centuries. Could Leonor be that figure? Could her reign bridge tradition with modernity, monarchy with democracy, silence with strength? Her waiting is not idle. It is strategy. It is the patience of someone who knows her moment will come, and when it does, she must be unstoppable. But woven into the grandeur are threads of human vulnerability. She is still a young woman. She must navigate friendships, love, the longing for a normal life. Will she marry for love, or for duty? Will the man who stands beside her be chosen by her heart, or by the crown? These are questions Spain whispers, but Leonor does not answer. Not yet. Because now is the time of waiting. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of her journey, that waiting, when done with grace, is not weakness but power. That silence can be louder than speeches. That patience, when mixed with discipline, creates something unstoppable. Princess Leonor of Spain stands at the threshold of history. Not yet queen, but no longer just a princess. She is the embodiment of resilience, dignity, and the quiet storm of a leader in preparation. The world will one day see her rise. Not as the girl they once underestimated. Not as the fragile princess they imagined. But as the queen who waited with grace, and in waiting, became unstoppable.